Football isn't just a game. It's a religion that unites billions, a language spoken in every corner of the world, and for the past 2 decades, it's been defined by two names that have transcended sport itself: Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo. Their rivalry didn't just give us incredible goals and magical moments, it gave us a debate that split families, friendships, and entire nations. But here's the thing. This wasn't just about who was better. It was about two completely different philosophies of greatness, two paths to immortality, and how their competition pushed football to heights we'd never seen before. Let's start with the boy from Rosario. Lionel Andres Messi was born on June 24, 1987, in a middle-class family in Argentina. But by age 11, his dreams almost ended before they began. He was diagnosed with a growth hormone deficiency, a condition that would cost his family thousands of dollars to treat, money they simply didn't have. His local club, Newell's Old Boys, couldn't afford the treatment either. That's when fate intervened. FC Barcelona invited this tiny kid for a trial in 2000, and on a napkin, they agreed to pay for his treatment. That napkin changed football history forever. Meanwhile, 1,500 miles away, on a small Portuguese island called Madeira, another future legend was being forged through different fires. Cristiano Ronaldo dos Santos Aveiro was born on February 5, 1985, into poverty. His father was an alcoholic, his mother worked multiple jobs, and the house was so small that Cristiano shared a room with his 3 siblings. But this kid had something special, an obsession with being the best. At just 12 years old, he made a decision that would define his entire philosophy. He left his family, his friends, everything he knew to join Sporting CP's academy in Lisbon. He cried himself to sleep for months, but he never gave up. These early experiences shaped two completely different approaches to greatness. Messi's genius felt effortless, like he was born with the football attached to his feet. His playing style was pure artistry. Close ball control that seemed to defy physics, vision that could spot passes others couldn't even imagine, and dribbling that made grown men look like children chasing shadows. He wasn't just a goal scorer. He was a creator, a magician who could make the impossible look routine. When Messi got the ball, time seemed to slow down. He'd glide past defenders with such grace that you'd forget you were watching a competitive sport. Ronaldo, on the other hand, represented the complete athlete. Every muscle fiber trained to perfection, every movement calculated for maximum impact. His style was power, pace, and precision. He was a goal machine who could score with his left foot, right foot, his head, from free kicks from impossible angles. Where Messi was art, Ronaldo was science. He studied every aspect of his game, spent hours perfecting his technique, and transformed his body into a weapon. His famous quote, "Talent without working hard is nothing," wasn't just words, it was his life philosophy. Their paths crossed at the perfect time in football history. Messi was rising through Barcelona's ranks, becoming the face of the most beautiful football the world had ever seen. Ronaldo had conquered England with Manchester United and was ready for his next challenge. In 2009, he made his move to Real Madrid for then a world record fee, setting up the most intense rivalry football has ever witnessed. El Clasico wasn't just Barcelona versus Real Madrid anymore. It was Messi versus Ronaldo, art versus power, La Masia versus the Galacticos. For 9 years, from 2009 to 2018, these two pushed each other to levels that seemed superhuman. When Messi scored 91 goals in a calendar year in 2012, breaking a record that had stood for 40 years, Ronaldo responded by winning 3 consecutive Champions League titles. When Ronaldo dominated in Europe, Messi would produce magic in La Liga. They weren't just competing against each other, they were redefining what was possible in football. But here's where their stories took different emotional turns. Despite all his club success, Messi faced a narrative that haunted him for years. Critics said he was only great at Barcelona, that he disappeared for Argentina, that he couldn't be a leader.
Between 2007 and 2016, he reached 4 international finals and lost them all. The pain was visible every time. After losing the Copa America final in 2016, he actually retired from international football, saying he couldn't take the disappointment anymore. The greatest player of his generation was being questioned because he couldn't win with his country. Ronaldo faced similar pressure with Portugal. After losing the Euro 2004 final on home soil as an 18-year-old, he cried on the pitch. But that moment became his fuel. He didn't just want to win for himself, he wanted to prove that he could carry an entire nation. And in 2016, he did exactly that, leading Portugal to their first ever major trophy at Euro 2016, even getting injured in the final but still motivating his teammates from the sideline. He showed that he doesn't need a perfect team, he creates belief. Their leadership styles couldn't be more different. Messi leads by example, through his performances, through quiet inspiration. He lets his feet do the talking. Ronaldo leads through intensity, through demanding excellence from everyone around him. He is vocal, commanding, the kind of leader who makes his teammates believe they can achieve the impossible. As they say, Messi makes his team better, Ronaldo makes his team deadlier. The international debate seemed settled in Ronaldo's favor until 2021. That's when Messi finally lifted his first major international trophy, the Copa America, and the tears of joy were visible to the world. But the ultimate moment came in Qatar 2022. At 35 years old, in what everyone knew would be his last World Cup, Messi delivered the performance of a lifetime. He scored 7 goals, provided 3 assists, and led Argentina to their first World Cup in 36 years. When he lifted that trophy, the debate shifted forever. Messi had done it. The numbers tell their own story. Both players have scored over 800 career goals, won multiple Ballon d'Or awards, and broken records that seemed unbreakable. Messi has 8 Ballon d'Or awards to Ronaldo's 5, but Ronaldo has 5 Champions League titles to Messi's 4. Messi has more assists, Ronaldo has more international goals. Many believe prime Messi is the greatest version of a footballer ever seen, while others argue that Ronaldo lasted longer at the very top, performing at the highest level across 4 different leagues. But here's what makes this rivalry truly special. It wasn't just about individual achievement. These two players elevated each other, pushed each other, and in doing so, they elevated the entire sport. Ronaldo finishes stories, Messi writes them. If football is art, Messi is the greatest. If football is competition, Ronaldo is the greatest. Messi is the best footballer, Ronaldo is the greatest competitor. Their legacies represent two different symbols. Messi embodies purity, the idea that football is beautiful, that genius can't be manufactured, that some people are simply touched by magic. Ronaldo represents ambition, the belief that with enough dedication, sacrifice, and relentless work, you can achieve anything. Both philosophies are valid, both are inspiring, and both were necessary for football to reach the heights it has. As both players enter the twilight of their careers, we're beginning to understand what we witnessed. This wasn't just a rivalry, it was a golden era that defined a generation. Kids around the world didn't just choose between Barcelona and Real Madrid, they chose between two different ways of seeing football, two different dreams of what greatness could look like. We may never see this again. Two players of this caliber, pushing each other for nearly 2 decades, creating moments that will be talked about for generations. They didn't just compete against each other, they completed each other. Football needed both the artist and the athlete, both the magician and the machine, both the quiet genius and the roaring competitor. The beautiful game will continue. New stars will emerge. But the Messi versus Ronaldo era was something special. It reminded us why we fell in love with football in the first place. Why this sport can make us cry, make us dream, and bring us together across all boundaries. In the end, we didn't have to choose. We were just lucky enough to witness both.